Hey folks, this is Ben Henson with Georgia Association of Broadcasters. I'm going to walk you through the GABBY call for entries for 2025. We're going to get started by visiting this website, gab.awardify.io. That's the direct link. You can also get here by going to gab.org and clicking on Events and GABBY Awards. So this is the same platform that we used in 2024. There are a few changes. The first of which is that every user is going to be required to create a new account. And we will get to that here in just a moment. But let's first start out by talking about the deadlines for 2025, the eligibility criteria, and then we'll get into the actual demo of the platform. The deadline is March 31st, 2025. That is a Monday, and the deadline is actually at midnight that evening. So let's talk about rules and eligibility for 2025. And we're going to do that by hovering over how to enter and clicking on rules and eligibility. You'll see here that we have the deadline that I just mentioned, information about the trophies, entry credits, things that we're looking for. Take a moment to look at these, but looking further down, you'll see some changes to the market sizes for 2025. We're trying to just make this as even playing field as possible, and I hope that this is achieve that. Of course, your feedback is always welcome. Eligibility. We're looking for stations who are GAB members in good standing. If you're not sure about that, give our office a call, 770-395-7200. So the entrant is the person who is doing the actual submitting of entries. Sometimes that's multiple people. A lot of times it's one person at a station who's been delegated this responsibility. That person must be a current full-time, part-time, or contract employee of the station. With accredited individuals, we're looking for at least one person in that list of people who participated in the production of that entry to be listed on the credits. And they must be, again, full-time, part-time, or a contract employee of the station at the time of submission. The entries themselves must be broadcast over the air, with the exception of our digital entries. Broadcast over the air by a Georgia radio TV station between January 1st, 2024 and December 31st, 2024. So we're only looking for entries from the last calendar year. All right, now that we've covered that, let's go ahead and get back to the process of creating your account. So where you're going to go to the top right-hand corner, click Sign In/Register. Once you do have your account created, this is where you'll go for that to log in. But as I mentioned, everyone is required to create a new account for 2025, and I'll show you the reason why here in just a minute. So let's get started here. Enter your email address, password, of course, your name, company name, if possible. We would love to see just a single set of call letters here. We know that's not possible for everybody, but this will help us differentiate. Say you have two Nexstar stations, or you're in a cluster of 6 radio stations. This will just make sure that we're able to differentiate between those stations and credit the proper ones. So this defined as WGAB does not exist, but that's okay. Put in our office phone number, and then we've got my address saved, and that's perfectly fine. Now, here's the reason why everybody has to create a new account. Last year, we had some issues with categories for different market sizes ending up, I guess, the same drop down. Piece of the form here will allow you to select your market size in the very beginning before you go on to submit entries. It prevents duplicate categories, making sure that you're not submitting for small market digital when you really need to be submitting to large market digital. Again, reference the market size in the rules and eligibility page that we just looked at. So let's just say I am a station here in Atlanta. I'm going to click large market radio. Yes, I have audio clips I'm going to submit, but I also have some online pieces I want to submit as well as a podcast. I'm going to click, so I'll be clicking large market digital as well. And I'll show you in a moment how we can go back and change this in case you've made a mistake. So now we're going to create the account. All right, so this brings us to the dashboard of your account. You'll see this notice here about verifying your email address. There is an email that would have been just delivered to your inbox at this time with a button to verify your account. So take a moment to do that whenever you can. And then if you don't have that email address or that email or you've lost it, you can request the verification link again. So I'm in another window. I'm actually clicking that, and we should see this disappear. And there it goes. Let's talk about some of the announcements up here on the screen. First is about payments. The deadline for all outstanding balances to be paid or arrangements to be made is April 18th. That is the week before judging takes place. So we really need to have those unpaid balances taken care of. Otherwise, they will not be submitted to our judges for review. And we'll talk about payment here again after we've submitted our first entry. And another reminder, always double check to make sure what you just submitted has been uploaded properly, that the video is playable, that the audio is playable, just to make sure that we're not having to go back and try to track you down during judging and get this information for you. All right, so now that we've gone through that, let's look at the entry form itself. So we've included the category descriptions and the link to the rules and eligibility. And this is category descriptions are accessible from the home page before you log in. This is just an easy way to get directly to them. So the form itself includes the category that you select first, and you'll see that this represents the large market radio, large market digital that I already selected in the registration form. But let's just say that you've got another weird, unrelated category in here. Maybe it says it's small market digital. Maybe I selected that by mistake. You can go into your settings and review the two channel categories or market size categories right here and add and subtract. So just if you feel like you're not in the right place, the settings is where I would go first. So if we go back to the dashboard, what we're going to submit is I believe a best newscast. So you select the category first, then you put in the entry name, and remember, this is the name that is either a headline or a descriptive title of the entry, and this is what will actually be engraved on the award if you should win a GABBY. So for newscast, we can do something like 6 p.m. newscast from 12/1, and that's fine. And you until the deadline passes, you can go back and edit this however you want. So let's click start. So this is the entry page itself. So you see that the title that we entered carried over. This confirms it's the best newscast category. You'll see here that we have the category description and the entry requirements. So we'll cover the add to cart here in a minute, but this is just a reminder as you get into the process. Here I'm going to submit an audio file. Now for this year, we are only allowing for MP3 for audio files and video links, YouTube links and Vimeo links for video. So I'm going to add just a random MP3 from my file here. Sometimes you'll see that it duplicates here. You do not have to worry about this. It is a server memory issue that we're trying to get resolved. Once you click save and come back to the entry, you'll just see that there's one here. So there's no need to delete the second file. This year, we are interested in learning how AI is being used in content creation. We're asking that all of our entrants disclose if AI was incorporated at some point. Please know that this is not something that will disqualify you. The judges will not even see that you marked yes or no. We're trying to get a better understanding so we can help you as our members, give you the tools and the education that you need to use those types of tools better and make your job easier. So we're looking for a yes or no and an optional description of how you use it. Just again, for us to better understand what's going on in the newsrooms and the editing suites and things like that. So once you've entered this information, and again, this one's required, and I'll show you what that looks like here in a minute when you don't submit it. For the credits, we're looking for at least one individual, up to 6. And here we're just looking for this person's name. I have my name here. and you'll see that that saves it. I'm going to add a second person here. This will be my colleague Mary Hare, and that is saved. Okay, so are we ready to submit? Let's go down here and see. And the answer actually is no, because I've not checked that yes or no on the AI generated content question. So let's just say, yeah, sure. All right, now that I've done that, I'm going to refresh the requirements to see that it has actually been submitted, or that it actually took it. Great. So now that we have all these sections filled out, you can click either at this point, add to cart or save. So you can save your work in progress. We're going to click save. We're going to go to the dashboard. Here on the bottom right hand side of the screen, you'll see a running list of all of your entries. In this case, you'll see that it's still in draft because I did not add it to the cart. And because I did not add it to the cart, it's going to say unpaid. It does say 75% complete. That's just because that one optional text field was not submitted. That's okay. You'll still be able to add it to the cart. But let's go back into that entry, and you'll see this, as I mentioned, that duplicate image of the file has disappeared. So nothing to worry about there. So now we're going to actually add it to the cart. Entries this year are $15 per entry, as they have been for the past several years. Again, we are trying to make this as easy as possible. If you've got more entries to submit, you do not have to pay right now. And once you do have your entries submitted, you can request an invoice. So let's just take a look here at a couple of things. So if you've got a lot of entries, or if you're a big station and you want to have everything at once, I know we've got a couple of public radio stations that can't use a credit card and must write a check. We have made this possible for you. So take whatever approach is best for you and your station, and it all works out in the end. So from this page, you can actually pay that invoice, or you can click Invoice Me. This turns it into a manual payment. You just confirm that you want to receive that. All right, and this generates the invoice, which you will also get a link to in your inbox, confirming that the invoice is ready, and there will be a link where you can view it and pay there. So from here, let's click back into billing, and it'll show the payment history and amount that's owed, and you can click into the invoice here to pay this by card. Say we've got 20 entries, we've got a larger balance than this, and we're ready to go. These are all the entries that we're going to submit. All you need to do is click Send Back to Cart, and you were given the option where you saw on that first screen of entering your credit card information and then submitting payment. And just a reminder, April 18th is the deadline for all unpaid balances to be resolved. If we go back to the dashboard, you'll see that the status has changed for this entry. It's been submitted. It's ready for checkout. If it was still if the invoice option was still present, it would say something like payment is in progress. And that's going to be the case for any entry that was tied to that invoice. Just remember that every single entry must be submitted. If it says draft and you've not taken it out of draft, it will not end up on the invoice or in anything that needs a payment, and it won't be judged. Just make sure you're checking all of this prior to the deadline of March 31st. We just want to make sure that everybody who intends to submit entries are going through the steps and making sure that they are doing it properly. Now, let's talk about something here where if you have submitted something for payment by mistake, the only way to take it out of the shopping cart, or the only way to take it out of the invoice, is to delete it and start over. Now, that being said, you can make edits to any file, any entry, regardless of their status up until the deadline. But it's very important to remember that if you've submitted it by mistake, the only way to remove it is to delete it. We are unable to change that status even on our end. just make sure that only the entries that are ready to be submitted are submitted. If you do not intend to submit a draft, either delete that or just make sure it doesn't get lumped into that submitted status. All right, so that wraps up our tour of the GABBY entry platform. If there are questions that you have along the way during your entry process, please feel free to reach out to us. You can give the office a call at 770-395-7200. You can also send an email to gabbys@gab.org. That is a shared account that goes to myself and a couple other team members. We are happy to log into your account and see what issues you have and how we can help. A couple of dates to remind you of. The deadline is March 31st. That is a Monday, and everything shuts off at 11:59 p.m. that night. The announcement of GABBY finalists, that will take place no later than July 1st, and the GABBY Awards themselves will take place on Saturday, September 20th as part of our annual convention. Thanks for watching, and please reach out with any questions. We are here to help you, and we thank you for supporting the Georgia Association of Broadcasters. Thank you.